Hi, it's Alyssa from Maintaining Motherhood, where I talk about simplifying to get more out of life. Today, I wanted to talk to you about our homeschool routine. In our homeschool, we follow more of a homeschool routine instead of a homeschool schedule. One thing logically follows after the other. So we don't start at a specific time, we don't end at a specific time, we don't have certain activities at certain times. Things just logically follow in order. So today I want to go over kind of how we do that and what all our daily routine includes. So the first thing we do every morning is we do a family scripture study. And we usually just do that in my room, and the kids all sit around on the floor in a circle. We each take turns reading, and then we discuss what we've read. This year for our scripture study, we've been studying the Book of Mormon, and we've been using the Come Follow Me manual put out by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And it's been a really good experience for us to be able to review all of the different questions and discussion points together as a family. And it's been really fun as each of the kids do this. They do their own personal individual study in the morning before we gather together. And so they've already come prepared with their own insights. So that's been really fun for us. After we do our scripture study, which we usually try to do fairly early in the morning so that we can include my husband before he goes to work, then we have breakfast, and we do that together as a family. Our usual meal for breakfast, as my kids will dreadedly tell you, is oatmeal. It's a meal that will last longer than cold cereal, and especially in the winter, I just like having hot breakfasts. So oatmeal is our go-to. Before scriptures each morning, we'll all be dressed and ready for the day. So after we finish breakfast, then everybody will go and brush their teeth, and then we kind of start to part out in our own various activities. The way that we run our homeschool is kind of in a rotation system. So the kids will rotate through meeting with me so that we can go through their individual lessons. And then they also have a checklist that they will do in their own time. So some of the things on the checklist is completing their language arts, their math, 20 minutes of reading, piano practice, violin practice for the olders, handwriting. They get computer time, so they can do Duolingo to practice a language, or they can do typing to practice typing or coding. We have certain websites that they can go through to do and just be able to have some time on the computer playing their computer games. They also have CHORE on there. Each person has a different responsibility that they're in charge of, whether it's vacuuming the stairs or doing the dishes or cleaning a bathroom or making sure bigger areas of the house are clean. Each child has a responsibility that they're in charge of for that day. And then we also include service on that chart. So each person is encouraged to do an active service for someone, just to make sure that they're continually looking for ways to think outside of themselves and to serve others. I will sit and I'll meet with the first child, and usually I'll start with a younger child that will need more one-on-one attention. And we'll go over all of the language arts and the math together individually with that child. And while they have little pockets of independent work, I'll be checking the work from the older kids from the day before and just filling out a notebook for their assignments for that day. And after I'm done working with one younger child, then I'll have another younger child come in. And again, I'll work with them individually, and then during breaks where they have some independent work, like maybe writing something down in a journal or solving a couple math problems on their own, then I will check the work from the older kids and then fill out a checklist for them of assignments that they have for that day. My kids' favorite point of each day is at 10:30. We have 10:30 snack, and they never let me forget it. So we usually try and have something healthy. It kind of breaks up the day. Everybody will gather in from doing their music practice or reading or computer time, and we'll gather together and we'll have a snack. After that, in the wintertime, we'll usually do some sort of an exercise video. Our favorite exercise video right now is Coach Wood on YouTube. He is hilarious, and my kids have just really enjoyed doing those videos. If it's in the summertime or when it's hotter weather, then we usually will go on a walk or something at this point, or we will have done that before we started our school. So after we've worked through the rotation of everybody, then we have lunch around 12 or 12:30, And during lunchtime is usually where it's nice and quiet because everybody is contentedly eating. So we'll just rotate through doing either a science or a history lesson during lunch, and then we can do it all together. People are quiet, the little kids aren't tired of kind of being let loose. And then if there's an experiment that goes along with the science or a writing activity that goes along with the history of the science, then the bigger kids will do that afterward, after lunch on their own time. And so this is just a time where I take advantage of having it quiet to do one of those family gathering times. We also try to do a read aloud every night. I'm not super great at it just because night times can get kind of crazy. Yeah, we don't always get the kids to bed early enough, but usually we'll use that kind of as an incentive of, if you get in bed on time, then I'll sit out in the hall and I'll read a couple chapters. And so our read alouds vary. We usually try to choose a chapter book so that all ages can be engaged. It helps the littler kids to fall asleep. The older kids are a little more engaged in the story, and will ask questions or just give their own opinions about the story as we're going. So for me, I think the best way that we've motivated our kids to be able to do their schoolwork and do it independently, we've taught them from the beginning how to kind of like, I'll sit with the younger kids while they do stuff, and then I give them specific assignments that they can do independently while I sit right there with them, so that they're learning how to work on their own. The bigger kids, from the time that they're in about fourth grade on, they usually do most of their schoolwork independently. And I like them to be able to do this just with a checklist that I will check off so that I make sure that they are still doing their schooling. But it helps them to plan their time well. It helps them to learn, if they have a big assignment to do, that they can break it up in little chunks throughout the week and not just save it all till the end or not get stressed out with the big project. So I feel like teaching your kids to work independently is really important because it takes a lot off of you as the teacher, but it also is teaching them life skills that will help them in college or just in regular life, to make sure that they are not saving things until the last minute, that they're learning to schedule and account for their time, and that they're also taking initiative to be a self-starter. I'll usually just go through, make the list, and I'll set the books aside and I'll tell that child, your school is ready for the day. And they may take an hour or two to come to that schoolwork, or they may jump on it right away. Our only requirement is that they don't go and do any of their extracurricular activities or other fun activities. They don't get additional screen time or anything like that until their schoolwork is done, and schoolwork has to be finished by dinner time. So if they want to spread it out through the entire day, then that is completely up to them. But it's all about learning to account for your time and allot your time wisely. One last part of our homeschool, I don't really consider it part of our homeschool routine, but it's part of my daily routine. And we have nap time or quiet time every day from 1 until 3. And those are my sacred hours because I figure I've been on the clock from the time that they've woken up. I've been a teacher teaching 5 different grades, so I need some time to be able to rejuvenate, to be able to get through the rest of the day. Otherwise, I will be a cranky mom. So during that time, my little kids, they nap in their room. They'll just have a CD or an audiobook on and they can read books in their bed. They don't necessarily have to sleep. My older kids, this is a time where they get to finish up their schoolwork if they've had an essay that they're writing, or right now the thing that they're really interested in is writing stories. And so some of the kids are illustrators, some of them are the authors, and they'll work together on their stories, or they can do other quiet activities that we have. We have puzzles, or we have Legos, or just things that they can do on their own that they don't have to have any adult supervision for or permission for me for those things. So hopefully that helps give you kind of a rough idea of what we do for our homeschool and can help you plan your own personal homeschool. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy minute by minute of a schedule. I think the most important thing is just keep it simple. Don't worry about reinventing the wheel or trying to recreate the public school situation in your home. Your homeschool can work for you however you want it to. Yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. You can follow me on Instagram If you like this video, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.